This is a giant rib roast, and I'm going to show you how you can cook this on your kettle grill.
Big thanks to Napoleon Grills for sponsoring this episode.
And with 4 bones, lots of meat, and the decal still attached, we got a beautiful piece of meat. We got a good amount of intermuscular fat, we got a little fat cap on top, and we still have that piece of belly. And that's going to make all the difference for this cook. Of course, this is a celebratory roast. It's a unique thing that you buy every now and then just to impress or celebrate a special event. This beautiful piece of beef came from my neighbor's Black Angus bull. I had it slaughtered and then cut up together with the butcher Herman Terwele. It's been dried for 14 days and now it's time that it hits the barbecue. Cooking a giant roast like this always comes with challenges, but don't worry, I'm going to show you how to do it step by step so you can do it too. This is 7 kilograms. I want to eat it at 6 o'clock tonight, but it's now 10 o'clock in the morning. Yes, that's how early I start. I can never afford not having this thing cooked when everybody wants to sit down at the table, but I still have plenty of time to spare in the morning. First thing that I'm going to do is fire up the barbecue. I'll be cooking on the Napoleon Kettle Pro grill. I'm going to put in some bricks to create an indirect cooking zone. Put in a little bit of charcoal, some fire starters, and light them up. While the barbecue is starting up, I'm going to season this roast. I'm going to season it with a little bit of Texas PITMASTERX seasoning. Now, since this meat is dry aged, it's going to have a little trouble sticking, but I don't really want to use a binder on such a beautiful piece of meat. I want to put it on as it is and then just tap it in. I'm going to do the same thing on the fat cap side, push it in. The reason that I had this beautiful piece of beef dry aged for 14 days, because that's when the beef gets more tender without losing too much weight. While we're seasoning, I'm going to show you the bottom. Look, we got the bones in right here. We got the backbone in. And the good thing about that is that we're going to have a lot of protection from direct radiation heat, which in a kettle grill is a real thing, and that direct heat might actually cause damage to the meat, drying it out and making it less juicy and less tender. So in a kettle grill, bone in is always a good idea. A little bit on top of the bones. That looks super good. That looks really pretty. I'm going to add some slow burning coconut briquettes. These things burn up to 8 hours and they're perfect for the job. The charcoal is going to give me a little bit of heat for the beginning, and then these are going to finish it off for a long cook. I'm going to put in 6 of these to start with, and I'm going to add some plum smoke wood to help with smoke flavor. Now the grill grates can go on, but I'm going to set them to the lowest position. Let's put this in, and we're going to put it in with the bones pointing towards the fire, and that's going to protect the meat from the radiation heat, and it points the bones to the highest position in the lid, giving it more clearance. Let's close the lid. Now I'm going to open the top vent all the way, and the bottom vent is going to go to almost all the way closed. I don't want it fully closed, I just need it to open a little bit. I'm aiming for a smoking temperature of around 140 degrees, which is 290 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm choosing a higher temperature so that I can render down the fat on the outside while still slowly cooking the inside, making it juicy and tender. It's now 4 o'clock, we're 2 hours away from dinner, and my roast is almost done. At least it's close to its desired core temperature. And that means I need to take it off. Now I've been cooking this roast, I've been rotating the roast regularly just to make sure that we have the indirect radiation heat coming from all sides. And in the end, oh man, this is such a unit. Oh, this is the result. It looks absolutely beautiful. But if you thought I can slice into it right away and start eating, you're wrong. We need to take at least another half hour for this thing to rest. So while we do that, I'm going to show you a cool feature of the way we cooked it. Of course, here in the middle, there's the eye. That's the sensitive part. You want to have it like a steak, rare to medium rare-ish, which means 54 degrees Celsius to 56 degrees Celsius core temperature. But here on top, we have a piece of the belly. Now, normally that's a tough cut and you wouldn't be able to eat it like a steak. However, we didn't cook it like the rest of it. And that's the cool thing with knowing how to cook a proper roast. If you have the eye cooked to rare, medium rare, the heat in the kettle grill goes up and most of the hot air sits here, cooking this part of the roast much faster. So actually, here we have a core temperature that exceeds 96 degrees Celsius, which means we almost have to cook like beef ribs. And if you look at that, I can just stick my thermometer in and it just slides into the meat. Of course, there's a little bit of crust there, but look, it just slides in. This is going to be so soft and tender and enjoyable to eat. I'm already getting hungry. To let it rest, I'm going to cover it a little bit. Not too much because I want to keep the crust, but just enough to retain the heat a little bit. It just needs like this little umbrella like that. And all the while it's going to steam and just let a little bit of that heat go. And it's going to spread the juices throughout the beef. One piece of advice, don't put this in a cooler to rest it. Because if you do, it's going to overshoot in temperature. We're just going to give it that time to, it needs to exhale and release most of the intense heat that sits on the outside and on top of the roast. Some of you have been wondering where my trusty companion, my dog, Eva, is. Well, she's right here behind me. See? She's waiting for me to cut into this beautiful steak. So without further ado, let's get into it. You're gonna go into the middle, in between the bones, like that. And we're going to cut off the bottom section. Yeah, baby. Oh, look at that. Now that is a beautiful thing. A perfect cooked rib roast, medium rare, with top beef that has been rendered down completely and turned into a really soft beef rib. And of course, I'm gonna get a slice out of this. I'm gonna shred off a little bit of that top beef right there. See that? Pull that off. It's just like pulled beef, perfection. You want a slice? She prefers the beef to be on the ground so she can eat it in peace. She is a 6-year-old Pyrenean mountain dog, and that means they don't do any unnecessary activities, which includes standing up for food. Want another piece, Eva? Yes, sir.
Oh,
I just got
how much did she get already?
Oh, just a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, now let's feed Jim.
let's go.
Jim.
This looks so good.
It's like pulled beef. Let me just shred it for you. Look
Oh,
at that.
nice.
Be careful, it can be a little hot.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's tender.
You see, that is like a seal of approval that I
Whoa.
was looking for. Impressive, right?
Whoa, yeah. Well, the dry aged taste also.
It's good, right?
That's really nice.
Intense beef flavors. All right, a little bit of the eye. I'm going to join you.
That's so tender.
Top quality beef.
That's top quality.
Really,
It's just oozing down there.
yeah, it's just running down here. Well, this is the way I like to cook my big giant roast on the Napoleon kettle grill. If you have any suggestions on how to do this, yeah, even relax, chill.
Take 3. I think she likes it.
Yeah. All right, this is how we cook a giant rib roast on the kettle grill. You've seen it here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys in the next one, right?
Yep, definitely.
Cheers.